Hi.
I'm Kayla.
Hi, Kayla.
I am. Wait, am I being honest or like?
Yeah.
I am Jaquan's ex-girlfriend or ex-fiance, and also best friend. I've known Jaquan for what, 15 years?
15 years.
No, maybe.
What year you count? What year you counting from? That's 2011.
So 2013, 13 years.
13 years.
My name is Jamin Brown. I am your friend and collaborator, and mentee.
Mentee.
That's so funny. And I think I've known you, I want to say going on 5 years, I think.
It was been 5 years already.
I think it's been 5 years. I think 2021 is when I met you.
I am Autumn, and I am Jaquan's oldest sister.
Yeah.
And I've known you for 6 years. 6 years now.
Good afternoon. I am Shelver Jackson. I'm Jaquan's father, and I love him. That's all I got.
I am Toshiba Jackson, and I am your mother.
All right. Hi, mother.
Hey, son.
My name is Jaquan, and today is my 30th birthday. Woo, woo, woo. W's in the chat. Unless you're watching this on a different day. And happy belated birthday to me. I decided to do an interview series with some of my loved ones to, get some insight on this milestone birthday, how they perceive me, our relationship dynamic, and things of that nature. And it was a little unsettling because being perceived is not my most favorite thing. And overall, it went well. I had fun to talk to the people I love, to engage, to ask some questions about me, about the future, about life and its many miseries. Whoa. About life and its many mysteries. Talk about a Freudian slip. But yeah, this is fun. I thank you for watching in advance. And yeah, I love you. Thank you for watching. Bye. I want you to start with this story that I've heard in passing, but I necessarily haven't heard like the in-depth version of. And that story is, I guess I would say your pregnancy story with me.
Oh.
So you can begin, and if I have any questions, I'll
My pregnancy
interject.
story. So I'm going to assume you're talking about when I went to and had a sonogram.
Yes.
At 4 months. When I went to have a sonogram at 4 months. And the sonogram showed that you had tumors on your brain. And the recommendation from my OBGYN at that time was that you would be born, that if I continue in the pregnancy, that you would be born with Down syndrome. The OBGYN recommended to abort because babies born with Down syndrome, children with Down syndrome, just was a lot of work, and it could be mentally and physically overwhelming. And so I told him that I was not going to abort, that we were going to have the baby. And I went to prayer. I went to the church, and I went and asked the saints to pray for me. And when I went back, I think it was 30 days later, a month later, and they redid the sonogram, the tumors were gone, and you were born normal, healthy. And I don't know if you're normal now, but yeah, you were born without Down syndrome. So let's just say that.
What's something you see in me that is not that has caused you to stick around, but like something in me that, I guess for lack of a better word, you want to attach to or allow into your life?
For me, it's the purity. There's something just so pure about your heart. I can tell from the moment that we first had a conversation that your heart was just so pure, and that no matter what I came with, You were open. You accepted me with open arms. Even the first time that I asked you about the spending the time, that was Mother's Day. You know, you could have easily said, it's Mother's Day. We want to spend this time alone with our mother.
Yeah.
But you didn't say that. You welcomed me with open arms. You've loved me. And just like you say, I'm that place for you. You're a safe space for me. I can tell you stuff. I can say stuff to you that I know will not go any further than you and I. And I just love how comfortable I am. Even sitting here right now, like, this is so out of my comfort zone, but I don't feel any discomfort. I feel relaxed. I feel like I'm just merely having a conversation with my brother. And it's just been your openness to me, your love for me, your genuineness, but most of all, it's just been the purity of your heart. I just sense the purity, and I know that the love is just there.
Something that comes up when I'm talking to people, even something y'all have mentioned about me, is that there is this purity that I have. Can you speak to that, where that may stem from, or how do you recognize that purity?
Yeah, it's the purity is in your heart. Your your unbiasedness, right? I think you're unbiased, and you genuinely love with no expectations, right? You just love people right where they at without putting a demand or expectation on people. So there is a purity, untainted love that you have for all humanity.
Yeah, even when I don't want to sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, 30 years, those years are actually great years. It's when you get 40, you start really settling more as a man. In your 30s, you still, have little uncertainties. You were more mature than I was at the age of 30, let me say it that way. At the age of 30, I still thought I was the man. One thing about the purity of Jaquan is because of your purity, you get who you see. And that's one thing that's gonna help carry you over these years of being 30. Which is a good thing. Me, I was still trying to come into who I was because of the lack of the father in the home, etc. And I wasn't pure at all. just put that out there. I had some devilish ways, but thank God for deliverance.
Something you said, I posted the other day about
about how you feel like when you're with other people, your social media.
Yeah, and then I was saying I am funny acting sometimes, and you said not with you.
Duh.
Why do you think that's the case?
I feel like because we have known each other for so long and are so comfortable with each other.
Almost half my life.
Yeah, we don't have a problem with saying how we really feel about things.
I do feel like people do this with you a lot, where they say like they didn't know something about you, but they never asked.
Yeah, people tell me often that I'm hard to read, and I tell them just ask the question.
Yeah, Anyway, I hear that a lot as it relates to you. Is I can't get a read on Jaquan. I'm like, what did you ask him? Because I'm pretty sure he would just tell you what it is. But anyway.
But when you kind of reflect on the type of kid I was versus how I am now, is there anything that stands out to you that was like, I didn't expect this?
Yeah, you're a very vibrant child. Very vibrant, very, I'm not saying you're not happy. Your joy and your happiness were more expressive as a kid than it is as an adult. As an adult now, you're very reserved, right? You really have to, I tell people we don't read people because we're not psychics, but you really, you're not, you just can't know where you are just by looking at you.
Yeah, I hear that often.
So you're
Hard to
very,
read.
now you're very, I don't want to say closed. I think you're very, I'm going to say reserved. I'm not going to say closed. I don't believe you're closed. I think you're just very reserved.
Yeah, I would say at one point in time I was closed, but as of now, it's just like, I'm more of like a gate. Like there is access in and out, but not anybody can just come in.
That's a good way to describe it. And we are supposed to protect our gates, right?
Yeah. When you think about, I know you have to use your memory, so just take your time. When you think about the person I was 2014, how old was I? 18? Versus me a few weeks from 30. Oh, Lord. What are some differences or changes you noticed over the years?
You have become 1,000% more comfortable in yourself. I feel like way more comfortable and way more outspoken than you were in 2014. I feel like back then you were like a very much what are they called?
Recluse?
No, not even recluse. What are they called? There's like a term for it that the kids use. What is it called?
What the kids use?
It's like you.
NPC?
No.
Oh, thank God.
No, I don't know what it's called. But basically, like you had the same personality back then. You were just more sly about it, slick about it. Like you would only like show it to your close personal friends and like me. But now I feel like you show that personality to everybody.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but it's just not. I'll show it to anybody, just not in public. Like if we were having something in here, I would be who you're describing. But if we like out in the world, absolutely not.
And why is that?
I just have this looming feeling of that people are watching and observing me.
He has a fear
I
of being
do.
perceived.
I may have a mild case of paranoia, but we're not going to talk about it. I wouldn't say searching for, but something I am holding on to is people that give me a sense of normalcy. Church comes with a whole lot. This creating things, it comes with a whole lot. And I think thus far it's probably only like 3 people that I can just exist around. I don't have to. I can almost kind of turn my brain off in a sense, where it's like I don't necessarily have to worry about what's going on. I don't have to have any type of answer or question, or I don't have to, not necessarily perform, but I don't have to show up as anything more than myself.
Absolutely. I can take that back to like when you just took me to the painting place. We were there. There was very little conversation between us, but yet the body language said so much. I just feel like we can really let go. Like I honestly feel like I can turn my brain off as well. It's not like we have to try to think of something to have a conversation about.
Yeah.
If we talk, it's just a natural conversation that comes about. We sat there for over an hour and we just painted. We got up and go get paint. I got up to go get paint. We just sat there and painted. And every now and then I think we said a word or two to each other. But it was so comfortable that, just being there with you, I was just so comfortable. I was so happy. And I was just like in such a happy place. It just, I don't know, you allow me to be me. And I'm a very bubbly, goofy, crazy, outgoing person. But it's like, when that happens around you, I mean, you see me break out in laughter.
Yes.
And it's just, that's who I am. and I don't have to turn that off.
Yeah.
You know, when you're around, or I don't have to, make sure. Oh well, about to go somewhere with Jaquan. Let me think of something that we can have a conversation about. It's no pressure. Yes, I put it like that. There's no pressure. I know I can be my true self with you.
Well, I have this other friend that I have met like a year ago. When I told her who you were, and then I told her we used to date, she was like, wow, how can you be, I don't see how people can be friends with their exes. And I was like, well, we were friends first. For one, people treat romantic relationships like a zero-sum thing. Like it's either all of that or nothing else.
Or nothing, exactly. They don't see people as people outside of romantic interests.
Yeah, so for one, why are you still friends with me after all this time? Because we broke up 6 years ago. 6 years ago. Yeah, so we've almost been friends longer than we were dating. So why are you still friends with me at this point?
I think from the moment we broke up and we figured, we were going through our separate things after we broke up, I feel like no matter what, you were there for me. And I could always talk to you about stuff, even if it was about my family stuff, what's going on in my romantic life. And you never tried to overstep boundaries when it came to my romantic life. And so at that point I was like, I'm not letting go of Jaquan because I love him as a person. And if he's being respectful of the relationships I'm in now and vice versa, I don't see why there would be an issue for us to be friends, because I love you outside of a romantic interest.
Yeah. You think Alex gonna let me come to y'all wedding?
Yeah. Yeah. Why wouldn't he?
I don't know. I just think people oftentimes are all or nothing. And I think oddly enough, in a weird, dark, twisted fantasy type of way, tragedy, let's use that word. Tragedy can bring out the worst and best of people. And as you said, as we navigated separately, I saw a different part of me, a different part of you, and it was like, yeah, there's definitely a care there beyond a romantic aspect. What has your experience been like having to navigate being a father, for me specifically?
You was pretty easy, Jaquan. You was not disobedient. You was a little too quiet, which is something that I believe not having your father around may have been a factor in that. But you were an easy kid. Now me, on the other hand, you reverse back. At your age, when I think my mom married Leonard somewhere around, I was about your age. Because my father was generally there but wasn't there, a resentment to Leonard was already in me. Yeah. And so because I had that resentment, I never gave him a fair chance. Right? So one thing I never heard from you is, you ain't my daddy. Which, why I say it was easy with you. With Leonard, he used to try to, I had to make him know he wasn't my daddy. Let me just say it, for lack of a better word. You ain't none of my daddy. And so my daddy wasn't mature. So he would say, that's right, you tell that nigga,
It's fine.
You tell him he ain't your daddy. And so instead of me saying, no, I'm not gonna do that, he's taking care of us.
Right.
I'm listening to my daddy.
Yeah.
But there was always some feeling of rejection because I felt like my dad is raising a whole nother family. And here we are suffering with another man because he couldn't keep himself.
Right.
Now, with you, on the other hand, God does nothing for nothing. Here it is, the void that was missing was filled, but the sense of guilt was because I know this is my biological dad.
Right.
But here I do have someone in the house that loves me. Never once looked at me as a stepson, but he always treated me as his child.
Right.
I think I see myself in you in a lot of ways. I think it's changed over time. I think more recently, I think there's a certain level of passion that you have that I aim to have. Like, passion about your craft, passion about things that you're really into. Even something as simple as like you know, taking on watching a movie a day for a year or something like that. That sounds like such a me thing. I'm like, yo, I know this person. It's like another part of me or something. Or I am another part of him or some version of that. I do think a lot of our relationship is centered around art per se, like on the surface. But I honestly think that boils down to just like the love of things.
Yeah.
Like the love and the passion for the stuff that we're into. And I think that we really connect on it, ironically enough, when we notice it in like somebody else. When we say like, yo, I love when that person's just like, that's all they do.
Yeah.
Like they really, really love that thing. And I think we love seeing that in each other, but I think we love seeing it in other people. And like we point it out, you know, when we're together. I do think that, you know, being that we do have a working relationship, sometimes I do get weary of it only being work or it only being work for me or someone or, you know, it's just, and I'm aware of it. Like, it doesn't always bubble up, but when I do feel it bubbling up, that's usually when I hit you. I'm like, yo, you're just trying to go get some food or something, because I hate relationships like that. I hate them. And it's like, nothing to me is ever that serious. You know? That's probably why I'd never be like uber rich or something, because I'm like, I don't know, it's just never that serious to me. Like, you know, at some point I am so fulfilled that, you know, like, let's make sure we, you know, service the real relationship for real. You know, let it not always just be like us working on a project or something. I think that naturally happens because we naturally think about it.
Yeah.
But I do think sometimes it's just like, no, we should just take a road trip. We should just go to this thing. Because that's just fruitful for like us as human beings. It doesn't always have to be work or creative. And I think the better we are as like true friends, the better the stuff we make comes out, you know?
Yeah.
I even think like, you know, like, yeah, there's certain things that I don't even, I think that, to answer your question again more directly, I think that something that I haven't always saw in myself that I am learning from you is just like trusting the process, you know?
Yeah.
I think you are very just good at like, well, this is what we got to go with. This is what it's going to be. It's never like you're throwing your hands up, but you kind of just like, this is what we got to work with. And I think sometimes I get very anal, or I get really in my head. I'm like, is this good? Is this good? But slowly but surely, I've been trying to like purposely be like, no, let Jaquan handle it. Like, let Brian handle it. Let just somebody handle it. Like, first of all, it's their expression too, and also, things are not really that serious for real. And then 3, it's also a matter of like all the relationship building that we do, like let that flourish, like let that actually show itself, you know, rather than just doing it and never has an opportunity to come out. So I think, you know, sort of like your passion and your love for things, I see myself in you, but I think more recently I've been trying to mimic your sort of your trust in like the process and just like letting things kind of happen naturally.
Well, we won't even talk about my 20s because that was just a whole nother just insane part of my life. But when I did finally when I reached my 30s, I was still kind of dabbling in some things that I wasn't really supposed to be doing, and I was steady trying to justify it. So there came a time where I said, hey, you got to make a decision. What do you want to do? Like, what are you going to do with your life? Because right now you're just existing. Like, you have no goals, you have no ambition. It's like, what are you here for? And I felt that my life was a waste. So when I would have to say I was about maybe 35 or 36 when I realized that something has got to give. You either got to choose to walk the right path, or you're going to choose to go astray.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't really about me changing the decade so much so. It was about how far gone I had let my life get to the point where I finally decided, hey, you need to settle. You need to settle down. So the advice that I would give to you is to pursue that it is that you want to do, and just allow yourself to gradually get to the point where it just comes naturally. Even though I feel like with what I've seen of your work, I feel like it does come naturally, but I don't know, from some of the conversations, I feel like you may hesitate.
Oh yeah.
Not be so sure about if you should do it or when you should do it. But my advice would be just go for it. It's not because of the change in the age, but I know you're reaching a point this year. You'll cross over into a new decade. So, but we're not gonna linger on that. But I just have to say go for it, because I don't want that there to become a time where you find yourself putting the camera down because it's like, I don't want to do that, or I don't want to do this. I almost liken it to saying, if you want to buy a house, like if I had waited until I could get every single thing that I wanted in the house, that my personal ones, I'd have never been a homeowner. But because I just went ahead with it, I was able to become a homeowner. I defied all the odds, so I say go for it. You gotta just keep your foot on the gas. Keep your foot on the gas and just keep moving forward. Don't pause. Don't hesitate.
I think I can do that. And when you think about, did you ever imagine how my life would pan out? And if
I
so,
know I had a plan for y'all. Yeah,
Well-
I know what I wanted to graduate from high school, graduate from college, create this family. That was my plan. But hey, y'all did, totally opposite of what I wanted. But at the end of the day, your life is your life. I of course, every parent want to see their child be successful, do this, do that. But, God has his plan. And whatever God's plan is for your life, now where I am in God, I'm okay with it. Whatever God's will is for your life.
yeah, and one, I do appreciate that, not necessarily hands-off approach, but more so of this stewardship / guiding light, because y'all have granted me the grace and liberty to explore, try things, figure it out, and not so much, there is this expectation and hope for, to see the fruits of what y'all have poured into me. yet there isn't this dogmaticness that has come with it. I mean, maybe this is a similar answer, but why, keep this like hands off approach rather than trying to steer this ship?
Well, one, because you're grown.
Well, yeah, but
Establish that.
there are people who are even older than me where their parents essentially control their entire lives.
Because the parents need a life. One, because you're
Well, yeah.
yeah, one, because you're grown, and one thing that mine is truly coming from the Christian aspect. I did what God told me to do. Give these children, back to me. When you were born, I dedicated you back to the Lord. I did what the Lord told me to do. Train them up in the way they should go, that when they get old, they won't depart. So I put in you what was required to me to put in you by God. And so I gave God something to work with, and I trust God's plan for y'all, for your life, or even for your brother's life. I trust God's plan. And so I can't control God's narrative. I have to trust God's will. And so however God is allowing you all to walk out your process, we all have a process, we all have a journey that we have to walk out. I'm not there to control it. I'm there to help you steward it and manage it and coach you along this way when you need that coaching, when you need that advice. Not to control, but to help navigate you through this journey.
Yeah. And even as I reflect over my life, I have always been a one to figure it out on my own. You raised us with this sense of independence, self-sufficiency, and things of that nature. And I would say for the most part, I've been managing. But as you mentioned earlier, there is this, we aren't made to be alone and exist inside of a bubble. So again, I'm learning to collaborate, ask for advice, insight, and perspectives. Or what has it been like embracing me as a sibling, as someone that confides in you, you can confide in, and things of that nature?
It has been like a breath of fresh air. I didn't grow up with siblings, and it was like from the moment, even though the interaction was never really there, I never looked at you as like a brother that came into my life. It always felt like, from the very beginning, you were my brother. It never felt, time passed, we met each other, and we just grew this brother-sister relationship. It felt authentic from the very beginning. Even though, like you say, there wasn't very much interaction, but the love was there. And, I've always looked at myself as a protector, because I grew up in a group home, and I always felt like I needed to protect those that were also in the group home with me. Even though I was the youngest one of them, I still felt that protective mode. And it's like, I never want you to feel like you are alone. I never want you to feel like you can't come to me about anything. Like, I'm gonna always be here. And it's just been, like I said, like a breath of fresh air, because I feel like even though you may have seemed like you needed me, I needed you just as much.
Oh, I'm not gonna cry on camera.
Me either. Yeah, I needed you just as much.
So the good thing about this is, because I do have discernment, I know when to pull and when not to.
Got you.
Guiding the difference that you have, you're just gonna be a nonchalant kind of, no nonsense, sarcastic a little bit, but you're gonna hit your point and just move and be done with it, which is very good. Like it's say, I care, but I don't care what you think at the end of the day, because this is what God said, and I'm gonna be done with it, and I'm still gonna love you the same way, which is a good thing. So, how do I deal with that part of Jay Form? I look at him and say, God, you made it. And that's all I can do. Like, hey, this is what God put in him. Let's not bottle that up. Now, me on the other hand, coming up, my difference was bottled because people didn't understand me. They feared me.
Right.
I would never, if I don't understand, I'll go to God and say, God, what am I missing? You got to help me to see this so that I don't bottle him up. Now, see, the good thing about you coming up under me, a lot of things that I've gone through, I know not to take somebody through it.
Gotcha. How do you expect, if there is any expectation, your parenting to change as I age?
How my parenting to change? I might need time to think about. I don't know if my parenting would change, because like you say, I'm hands off, but I'm so close.
Right.
Right now, even still, like I'm hands off, I'm so close. You know, sometimes I meddle. Like if I'm trying to find out if y'all dating, but I'm not a meddling mother.
No.
I'm not a busybody mother. You know, I think I will always continue to be that way, to give you, you know, as your life shifts, however it shifts, you know, ask God for the wisdom that you need for whatever circumstance or situation that you may find yourself in as you age. You know, I can only truly give you the advice that, you know, that I know, always consult God, because now here I am aging in this earth and I have no parents.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't have a mom. I can call and say, hey, I'm going through this, you know, what can I do? Or just go to her house and sit there, you know, just to be in her presence. And so you know, do I feel it at times? The absence of her? Absolutely. Loud sometimes, you know. But you know, I've because she instilled so much in me,
Right.
you know, I can sit and just close my eyes and I can hear, you know, her. She's not here, but I can hear her saying, you know, Sheba, I taught you this, I taught you that. Do what you know is right. Do what I taught you to do, and always put God first, you know. And so I think I would have to take that same approach with you all. I raised y'all right. I did what I was supposed to do. I gave you God. I put God in you. Do what you know please God, and do what you know is right. You know, and you're gonna stumble, you're gonna fall, you're gonna make mistakes. You have to, because you have to create your own experiences for your own stories to tell people how you overcame when you messed up. And so I think my approach with my children is not to stop you from falling, because you gotta fall.
Right.
How will I learn if I don't fall? How would I learn if I don't make mistakes? But I'm here to give you that advice when you get up after you fall.
Right. I guess manage being human. So I think that's the root of my question.
You know, I had this conversation with Everett today. He's funny, but I had the same conversation with him today. Like, one thing he said to me, Mr. Jackson, I like talking to you because you don't always try to beat me down with the Bible.
Right.
Even though I try to subliminally throw in Bible.
Yes.
I try not to be so what's the word I'm looking for? I try not to be so spiritually minded until I miss what you're going through naturally.
Right.
Like, for instance, and I gave him this example. I gained this weight.
Mm-hmm.
That was not a spiritual problem. That was an overeating problem.
Mm-hmm.
And so now what I got to do is I can't put this on the spirit because I did it to myself.
You're right.
So what I got to do is look at how do I deal with this naturally? Did I have a problem spiritually that caused me to naturally do this?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm trying to eliminate so much of spirit because this is a natural problem.
Right.
So with that being said, I have to learn how to navigate through certain things and not try to be so deep in God until I'm missing what you're going through naturally. In other words, my grandmother, when granddad died, we was all in the house, and one of the church mothers or something walked in there, and the first thing that came out of her mouth was, "Well, mother, the Bible say to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord." So my grandma said to her, "I don't want to hear that right now. My husband died. Did your husband die? I know what the Bible say. I've been reading the Bible all my life."
Mm-hmm.
So we got to learn how, and this is, I say this on the side of caution. We got to learn how not to be so spiritual prone until we missing people naturally.
Right.
Because some of their problems, though we are spirit beings, some of their problems it's not a spiritual problem.
Yeah.
And so, with that being said, I got to learn how to deal with you on the side of where you are.
On a lighter note, could you think about some of memories in my life, moments that have stood out to you over the years? I know there's a lot to choose from out of
I think
30
just
years.
your boldness, your boldness to be different, your boldness to walk in your procureness. You know, I think your courage to not, allow what people think, the opinions of people, to change who you are. You know, the fact that you walk around, wear black all the time, or wear, don't dress up, or, because who y'all mama is. My boys grew up wearing, polos, look like little preppy children. My children don't look like Carlton Banks. Y'all totally went opposite, polo, the little khaki pants, khaki shorts, boat shoes. That was my boys. But when y'all grew up, hey, like, no, we're not dressing like that. We're not, And so I think the fact that you all took on, you and Jakai took on your own identity. I'm so grateful that y'all didn't even allow me, your mama, to mold you into my image of what I wanted you to be or how I wanted you to look. And that I even had enough wisdom to step back and let them develop into who they are, rather than you trying to fit them into this mold that you want them to be. And so, some parents probably would say I was too hands off, but I don't think I was too hands off. I think I gave you all the space to come into the knowledge of your own identity, rather than me telling you who you are.
Is there a specific memory, experience, or whatever that stands out to you the most over this tenure? Because 13 years is a lot. A lot of stuff has happened.
A specific time. See, here you go making me dig up memories that I got the date.
Come on, Jimmy Neutron. Brain blast.
Ooh, I know. When we went to Naples. That was probably one of the most fun times we've had on a vacation. That water was so beautiful. We had a time.
It was cold. Now, granted,
where did we go there for? Your birthday? Was it your birthday?
Yours.
My birthday?
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, granted, it do be cold in November. I didn't consider that. So
that was the first and last time I've ever been to Naples.
Yeah,
It
beautiful
was
city.
great. It was beautiful.
My phone broke while we were there.
A lot of old people.
Yeah, A lot of old people. But yeah, if you ever want to travel, go to the west coast of Florida. You don't have to go to Tampa. Just go to Naples.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. I think something that stands out to me, and this is probably just like these in totality, is that all the times we went to visit your family in Georgia. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that. I mean, I wouldn't say there was ever a bad time. Probably you will often get sick.
I would, because of the what's it called? It changes. The weather changes.
Yeah.
I get sick like every damn time we went.
Yeah, but it's just the way that it wasn't. I was never treated like an outsider or like this person that had to prove themselves. They just, I just showed up and they just welcomed me on
Waited
in.
on them hand and foot. Well, Sheila did.
Listen, man, it's not my fault that I'm just such a wonderful person that your mom loved so much.
Okay.
What's a memory that we've shared that stands out to you the most, or just stands out in general?
When you drove down to that Cuban restaurant,
Oh yeah,
that was great.
Yeah.
That was so fun. Because like, I think that's what we want in life.
yeah.
We literally. Were you working at the time? Oh, you took off.
I was taking off just because.
Yeah, you were. And I don't remember what I was doing. I was just existing. And yeah, we just drove down on a whim. And yeah, did that, got some food, went to the art store.
Yep.
And it was just a great day, you know? And I love those days. I love days like that. I just want us to have more of those days. Sometimes when I think we're about to do something to get together, I'm like, man, let's just get some food and call it a day, bro. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, that was a great memory. What about you?
Something that stands out. Ooh. That probably is the one, or when we went to go see Oppenheimer.
That was crazy. No,
Yeah.
that's up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like us walking out of it being in awe.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were like, "Ooh, what did we just? What? That was insane. What did we just experience? It was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had a lot of rendezvous like that.
The best memory that we've shared that stands out to me, I don't know if you remember, but I do have a picture in my phone. You came to my place when I lived in Stewart, and we just hung out that night. We played games.
I do remember.
We hung out, we played games, we stayed up late, we watched movies, we talked, we ate. That, I believe, was like a pivotal moment in the relationship, because that was the first time that we had really spent like time together alone, and it was just so comfortable, so natural, and that is probably one of my favorite times.
Yeah, I'm going to be 30 and soon.
It's coming up. It's
It's like less than 3 weeks.
less than 3 weeks. Yeah.
Um,
How you feel about it?
I mean, 6 months ago, it was whatever. 4 months ago, it was whatever.
4 weeks ago.
I think April going into May, I think I've been spiraling ever since.
Yeah.
And,
April. When did Onyx get rehoused?
first week of May.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm certain I've been spiraling yet trying to keep my composure. And I don't know, I guess these turn of the decade moments are, maybe it's biological, maybe it's spiritual, maybe it's just a mind thing.
Yeah.
To how it's like, you know, like every calendar decade it seems like, oh, what's 2020 going to be like versus the 2010s, or 1999 going into the year 2000. Granted, I was only 3 at the time, but there is this sense of, for some people it's this impending doom, some people it's like this great transformation that's about to take place.
Yeah.
I mean, at this moment it does feel like an impending doom. Granted, I'm in theory, I'm going to wake up just like every other day for the last 30 years. But
Yeah.
and then people, it's like, Jesus started his thing at 30. They have these, the story about Jordan getting cut from his high school basketball team.
Yeah.
Oprah starting her career later in age.
Yeah.
Even Ava DuVernay, when she started at 50.
Yeah, 40 or 50.
So it's like 30 is young.
Yeah, very young.
At the same time, it's like, 30 is young, but I think given, I guess I can only speak for the country I grew up in. There is this, at one point in time, you could leave high school, work at a grocery store, and be able to buy a house.
Yeah.
Versus today,
Not a thing.
you can't even buy groceries.
You can work
You
at
can
the
work
grocery
at the grocery store and
not-
can't buy groceries.
Exactly. It's different.
So I think if I go back to that through line of grief throughout my life, I think there is this grief in life doesn't look like how I imagined, the world doesn't look like how I imagined.
Oh yeah.
And I would even go as far as to say that subconsciously I've been kind of hopeless because I necessarily don't plan for the future. Like, I consider the future, but I don't have like these, I want to do X, Y, and Z by whatever date. And I think as I'm not even approaching 30, as I'm crossing over, that's not like I'm dying.
It sounds so dire.
Yeah, it sounds dire, but I think as I'm even entering these like new relationships, learning these new things over the last couple months, these new experiences, I'm inclined to start hoping again. And I'm not necessarily, there is this fear that comes with that because it's like, the last time I kind of hoped for something, it necessarily didn't pan out how I wanted it to. And it's like, if I don't hope for anything, I can't necessarily be disappointed.
Be let down or something.
So, and also when I see how much you pour into Sunland, pour into people, and these ambitions you set that 2 years ago seemed crazy, but I think thus far, I don't think there's anything that you haven't reached. I'm inspired by that. Even like my contributions, I can really do something. My ability, skill, know-how, these things are valuable, and I can see the tangible and intangible value in that. So I guess for starters, thank you for that.
You're one of the best. It's like I was flipping through this Gordon Parks book I have the other day, and I could not help but think, I'm like, to me this is Jaquan, like not you, him, but like this display of work, and I just started thinking about like all your images. I went through your Instagram, obviously I went my images in that, but I was going through your Instagram, like, bro, Jaquan has so many images, and I think that, sometimes, as silly as this example might be, it literally reminds me of the first time on like TikTok, whatever, when like a video went crazy.
Yeah.
And then all the videos from the past went crazy.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we miss our own future context for our work. To us, it's just like photos.
Yeah.
But the moment that your moment arrives, all of those just photos become art. They become artful. They become like, y'all want to do like an exhibition on this? Like, okay, it's just like, these are just photos I had in my Google Drive. It's just like, no, we want to blow it up because there's context for who you are as an artist now. So everything makes sense.
Right.
Everything becomes like coherent and cohesive. It's like, we got it. We understand it. And I think we are all going to have that moment. I think that's all going to arrive for us at different moments, at different times. in different ways, multiple times, I think that's going to occur. It's just a matter of when. And to me, stuff like that is really what keeps me super hopeful. Because I'm like, bro, just keep doing the work. Just keep doing the work. By the time you look up, like, you will literally be able to cover every inch of this bookstore in the image you took. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, that's what it's truly about. That's what it's for, you know?
If you had to warn someone before meeting me, what would you warn them of?
I would just say, whatever comes out of his mouth, like I told you earlier, because you're a person of so few words, I would just warn him, listen, whatever comes out of his mouth, listen and believe it, because I promise you that whatever he has to say or whatever he does in that moment is going to leave a lasting impact on your life.
Okay. Be mindful of the context, though, because I do play a lot.
Okay.
So,
he does play a lot.
Be mindful of the context.
He does play a lot, and he does say a few little sideways things that, you know, but don't take it personally. But don't take it personally. I mean, he means it, but, you know, don't take it personally. It's probably true. More than likely it's true. But, you know, but you just gotta
wouldn't harm a
so
fly.
innocent. Wouldn't harm a fly, but you gotta love him. So just be ready for whatever is said or whatever is done to leave that lasting impact on your life.
Boom. That's it.
Really?
Yes.
Look at that.
I want to say that I appreciate you for being a present father, because, you know, when people marry into a family, there is a lot of times, oh, that's your child, or things of that nature. And I can honestly say that there was never a point where I felt that way. Now, I will say, when mother told me I was getting married, it's not that I didn't like you. I felt like there would be this, not separation, but the family dynamic, of course, was changing, but there was more so of like, I would be like pushed to the side in a sense. You know, of course, as I matured in life and things of that nature, I understood what was happening and what I was gaining and not necessarily losing. So I just want to express that appreciation and thank you for the continued support, love, and I know that whatever happens in life, as long as I'm doing the right things, I can always count on you to show up.
Yes, sir.
You say I'm spoiled. I say I'm privileged. There's a difference. I am learning to maximize these privileges I have. I don't have no kids. Well, that's not a privilege, because that's literally the easiest thing you can do is not have kids.
Continue.
I got minimal responsibilities, nothing crazy in my life going on. So it's like I can pretty much do anything I want to, which is kind of scary because it's like, and paralyzing because it's like, okay, where do I begin? Mm-hmm. But over these last 2 years with Sunland and just having an outlet to pour into, it has granted me the space to hope, to dream, to aim towards something rather than, you know, just figuring it out as I go. Of course, as I age, aging. As I age, life becomes more, well, one should become more grounded. Mm-hmm. And I think I am finally finding my footing in something that, one, I'm passionate about, two, I can do with people, and three, has an impact beyond. I'm hungry. Sorry, my stomach growled. That has an impact beyond myself. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I am surrounded by a lot of people that care about me, a lot of people that show up for me because, like you said, you don't do well with stuff on the spot. And everything, even beyond this, like the screenings I've had, the gallery I did, everything else, you always show up. And I am, if I had 3 hands, you get 3 thumbs up.
Thanks. I'll always be here supporting you. Whatever you do, I'm going to support you. Wait, not whatever you do. Whatever you do within reason. Support you.
Yeah, whatever I do within reason.
Lord Jesus.
As we can prepare to wrap this up, I would like to express gratitude and thankfulness for, one, the mother you are, have been, and I know you will be, and being a example to follow. I don't express this to you nearly as enough as I should, but whenever people ask me like who inspires me, who's a hero I have or whatever, you're always the first answer without without thought, because you have demonstrated, for one, loving people even when it hurts, and 2, just walking with grace, integrity. I'm not sure if I'm going to adapt the niceness aspect. I'll be kind, but I'm not sure about the nice aspect. But you have given me a example to follow, and I am thankful for that.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you. It's not easy, but thank you. Yeah. It's just nice to be nice, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
What's our golden rule? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I tell people all the time, you can't control what people do to you, but you can control how you respond to what people do to you. And so I don't give people control over me like that to pull me to where they are. Then what would make me any different from them? I would be just like them. So I always have to be that witness, that credible witness of my confession of Christ, regardless of what's happening. Have I missed the mark sometimes? I have, but it does not diminish who he is in my life and his light that shines throughout my life.
Amen.
I don't even have to open my mouth to say it. You know, he just shines because I choose to allow him to shine.
Amen. Well, thank you for your time.
Oh, that's it?
That's it.
Oh, that was easy, quick. Okie dokie pokey.
But this is fun. Thank you for saying yes. Thank you for your continued support. And by the time this is out, I will be 30. I plan on putting this out on my birthday. So maybe I'll put it out later so I can film myself crying in the corner for a little razzle dazzle. But
It's not your birthday if you don't cry.
it's my party. I can cry if I want to. Thank you very much, madame.
You're welcome.
Boom.